Good evening. My name is John Reynolds. I'd like to, and it's, let's see, 6 o'clock, May 9th, 2023. I'd like to call to order the Sewer Commission meeting. And if everyone could stand for the pledge. Okay, join me in the pledge. Dave, you got the flag there?
Yes.
All right, I'll start us off. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Thank you. All right, it's our usual little story here. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting of the Sewer Commission is being recorded and will be able to be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. The following information is also provided for members of the public that would like to participate in the meeting remotely. To participate remotely from a computer, please use the link to join the public meeting webinar found on the posted agenda, or from a telephone, dial the toll-free number 888-475-4499 and enter the webinar number 820-5953-7604. If you have not registered with Zoom, you will be asked for your name and an email address. Note, please, no participant ID is needed. Just press pound when asked. All right, I'm going to do a roll call vote of the commissioners to see who's present. Let's see, is Brett on yet? No. Dave McDonald?
Here.
Mike Nault?
Here.
Mike DeVakis is not with us, and I for myself. I'd like to do a roll call vote of this, all of the staff. Bill Bernard?
Here.
Paula Bertram? And Jane Rainley?
Here.
Okay, great. Let's see, is there any public comment from the public? I don't think we have anyone else, do we? No. Any public comment from the commissioners or staff or DPW staff?
Mr. Chair, of course, I got one. As everyone knows, the town election is next week, the 20th. There's still time for someone to come and join us on the Sewer Commission. It would have to be a write-in ballot, but there's not many people you have to do to be on a write-in. So if you're interested about joining the commission, give us a call, give me a call, give John a call, give Mike, give Brett, anybody a call, and you come on and join us. But we do have an opening after the 20th, and we want to thank Mike DeVakis for his work during the last few years.
Hello,
Hey.
hello.
Hey, Brett Ramsden has now joined us.
Hey, Brett.
Hi, Brett.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Good to
Brett,
see you
we're just
all.
doing, we're just doing public comment. Do you have any public comment?
I do not.
Okay. Any announcements?
Mr. Chairman, well, it's either. I just wanted to let the commission know we received a thank you card from Barb Lefebvre. And if it's okay, I'd just like to read it real quickly. Your thoughtfulness will be warmly remembered. Wow, where to start? Well, first, my very thoughtful and appreciated 15-year award. I will treasure it, as it represents such an important part of my career and time spent with you. But to all of you, thank you for your love and support throughout the years, the kind words, the patience, the support. It means so much. Take care all. You are all very special to me, Barb.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, that was nice. Okay, any announcements? I think the only announcement would be the town election, which Dave already mentioned. So everyone get out there and vote for Brett.
You got my vote, Brett.
Well, feel free to vote for someone else.
Well, I know you've got at least well, probably 4.
Five.
5.
That'll probably do it.
Okay.
Mr.
All
Chair,
right. Yes, Dave.
if I could, I also want to thank Bill for his excellent presentation of the sewer department at town meeting. I saw it today. Bill, you did a good job.
Well, thank you.
And thank you for representing the sewer. The town meeting was very, very short this year. And I was working until 11:30 with the Salvation Army, and I was on my way over. My wife said, "Don't bother, it's already almost done." So again, thank you for what you did, Bill.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I second that. I appreciate you. This is the second time you've pitched hit for the sewer commission, so you've done such a good job. Maybe we don't have to go to any town meetings or presentations anymore.
I second that.
No comment, Bill?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I do appreciate it.
You're
All
welcome.
right, our only appointment is Chad T. Ampry LLC. I don't know if Chad's there, but certainly Al Packard is there. So
Al, Chad had indicated he was planning to attend. Do you know if that's changed, Al?
I do not, and I'm not really sure it was Chad. I think it was Wade.
Okay,
okay,
So, we have a new, well, he's not new, but we have a new, general manager now. So he was inquiring about, the town policies and procedures, so he was gonna join in just to get his feet wet.
so he does have the link, because it was Chip who responded to me. I just want to make sure they have the link to get in.
They should, yes, they
Okay.
should.
Okay.
okay. Maybe we could start by Al, if you want to just give us a little status update on the system from your perspective.
Okay, so I had sent out a couple of things for Paula as far as repairs and upgrades for the vacuum pumps in 3 of the pump houses. I have one that's currently acting up, which I did get kits. We did order kits and rebuild kits and two complete vacuum pumps. One is to replace the one that's acting up at Mass One, and the other one is the spare, which we usually have a spare on hand. And then I ordered 6 rebuild kits for the other 2 stations. Each station has 2 vacuum pumps. And after servicing them the last time, which was in maybe in February, I think it was, I had noticed that one of them needs a complete rebuild. So I just said, you know what, it's time to do them all. So we're going to do them all.
Okay. Just so everyone's on the same page here, the vacuum pumps are Dana, Leominster, and Mass One, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Those are your main pump houses where most flow goes throughout the town. There are 7, in case I'll just update you real quick. There's 7 lift stations that
Right.
move it throughout the town. Those are pretty much all the same. And then the 3 pump houses, they're the same in retrospect, except for pump sizing. That's the only thing that's different.
Okay. You're talking about the lift stations then, right?
Yeah, so the lift stations are all the same.
Okay.
The pump houses, which are basically, they're lift stations, but they call them pump houses because they're enclosed.
Okay. And which one did you say it was that was acting up? Which station?
Mass One.
Oh yeah, Mass One. Okay. Now, have the commissioners had a chance to look at the spreadsheet that Paula sent out that had the costs for, I think, Al, what did you call it? Your wish list over the next 8 to 10 years?
Yeah, I believe I had started this venture with Barb and Rob at the time. And then Paula had asked for a quick update. So I gave her what I had. And I would like to go through that a little more detail now that we have a little more time. I think it's what she's doing is spot on. That your average for pumps is anywhere, nowadays it's 5 to 7. Used to be 7 to 10. And we do,
Talking about life cycle of the pump.
yeah, useful life is what they call it. So you 9 times out of 10 you get more, but you try to base it on so that you're not down, basically. I would like to see that list now that she's doing, is it 8 years that you're doing it out for?
I did it out as far as you had projected, I think, which was till fiscal 30, I think.
Okay,
But I've added some things, and if the next item on the agenda is capital planning, and I think we'll kind of do a deeper dive, just so that you're aware. Bill and I are trying to plan on spending for the remainder of the fiscal year, which is quickly coming to a close.
yes, I
So
saw
we're
that.
trying to figure out what we should allocate now.
Okay,
So a little bit later, I'll go through that, and then would love your input on it.
Excuse me,
Okay.
Mr. Chair, Paula, is that for what you just said? Is that for the rest of 23?
Yes.
Thank you.
okay. I haven't seen that list yet. I just briefly, I don't have my computer. There's something wrong with it. So I should have it back by the end of the week. So I didn't get a real good chance. I guess my phone. I'd like to print that.
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen, and I can print it for you too, and we can possibly the three of us can sit down and go through it, but I will share my screen tonight. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Do you want me to do that now?
Yeah,
Thank you, Paula.
So can everybody see it?
Not
Not yet.
Yeah, it's coming though. Let me find my glasses.
Why is it not showing? Hold on, let me try again, because it's not. Huh. Well, that's not good.
Not a good way to say that.
Huh, I can't get out of it now. Well,
All right.
I'll let you guys continue to talk while I try to figure this out.
well, Paul, it's what you're trying to put up on the screen is what you sent out in the package, correct?
Right,
Okay, so does anyone, I have it printed here, I'm holding it, but do the rest of you have it by any chance printed out?
I have it printed. I looked it over. We had touched on it the last meeting too, but
Right,
yeah, all looks good.
okay, we lost Zoom for a minute. Are you guys all there?
I'm
Yes,
seeing,
I'm
I'm
here.
seeing everyone, yeah.
Okay.
something happened. Oh, there we go.
Dave, have you had a chance to take a look at that?
Yep. And I
Oh, here we go.
have it on my phone as well.
Okay,
All right, now I can see it.
I don't have that though.
Here we go.
there it is.
Okay, everybody can see it?
Yep.
What happened there? So I want to start out by saying, when you look down at Meadowwoods and you see this $10,062.38, that's the funds that Al just referred to, but they're not broken out because I only have one quote right now. So that's the repair at Meadowwoods and the additional pumps that Al was just talking about, the rebuild
Oh,
kit.
yeah.
So that's all built into that $10,000. So Al, you had, when you initially sent me the list, you had kind of forecasted all the way out to, and I have it right here, to fiscal 33. So we have funding available now, and the way you had spaced it out, it looked like there was going to be a huge increase later on down the line in fiscal 28. Well, I've kind of tried to normalize that spending to about $100,000 per year.
Okay,
So what you had recommended a crane replacement at Dana Street at sometime in the near future.
yes,
Seals
Yep.
at Dana Street.
Yep.
Now, this is from Weld, the block heater at Electric Avenue. They're recommending a block heater.
yeah. And which one is this? Is this Dana?
That's Electric Ave.
Oh, okay.
If
Oh, all right,
if you look on the left, see it,
Yeah,
Um,
okay, I got it.
Francis
it.
Ave, a panel replacement, and you had estimated about $8,000.
Yes, we are waiting. We're actually in that quote now, trying to get the vendor to give us what we need.
Oh, great, okay.
So,
Lemonster Road, looking at a crane replacement. And I've received the quote from you guys on these.
Yeah.
So I have
Yeah.
the quote for $5,780.
okay,
Mass 3, you had suggested we need a new dialer there, and I've based that price based on the dialer at Meadowwoods.
yes,
Okay.
yes, I would go with those Sensophones. So what is in town it's overkill.
Okay,
It's, and the amount of money those things are ridiculous.
okay.
So,
So I'd still need to get a quote, and we'll just
Yes.
discuss that when we get
Yes.
a quote. Anything in
Right.
black needs a quote, anything in red, we've received the quote.
Okay.
Mass 2, a replacement of the block heater, and that's the quote from Weld. A
Okay.
dialer at Mass 2. Mass
Yeah.
1, the crane, and then the pump rebuild that you just talked about. But a crane, we have the quote on that for $5,780. Meadowwoods, we just replaced the dialer for $1,887, and
Yep.
we're rebuilding the pump and the other pumps, and that's the $10,000 that's in progress. Weld is also recommending we replace the battery there for $473.90.
yeah,
Um,
the issue that I have with Weld on these things is if they don't see a date on the batteries, they want them replaced.
Okay, so
It's-
that's why I'm
It's
looking for
auto- Yeah, it's automatic. I mean, batteries are good for 2 or 3 years, and that's it. But I mean, the battery is there is not that old.
So if you don't think we should replace it, that's why I'm looking for your input.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
So West Street, there's nothing, so this year in capital infrastructure, we're looking at $46,141.40 beyond what we've already spent on small repairs. Looking out, I forecasted everything out, but if there's other things that you think we need to do this year that are not on this list, I want to
Okay.
juggle things.
Yes, I agree. This is a really extensive list. I like this.
So right now, if I go to fiscal 23 to date, and I go down to our capital plan line item, this is our infrastructure line item. Right now, this year, we have $64,150 to spend on infrastructure. If we've already spent 15,000, if we
Okay.
take that 46,000 on top of that, well, minus the money we've already spent, it looks like if we do everything that I just talked about, we
Yeah.
can do everything that I just talked about and still have a little bit of money left over.
For the fiscal
This
year
fiscal
of,
year, before the end of fiscal year, yeah.
okay. Now, that has to be billed out by the fiscal year, or does it just have to be allocated?
We have to have the quotes so that if we don't have the work done, we can encumber the funds, but we have to have the quote.
Okay. That's easy. Okay, we can make that happen if we need to. So,
Well,
I mean, I don't see
yeah.
like the block heaters and stuff. I mean, if you want to get it all done now, we can. I mean, block heaters are for winter.
Right, but
They don't-
next year, I'm proposing that we replace, you had said we need to replace the generator at Twin City in the near future, which is
Yeah, that would be
which is $80,000. So that's going to be all we do next year.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to I mean, that quote was very vague. I mean,
Right,
I just
right.
heard that verbiage. I don't
Right.
know what generators cost, but if you guys are planning on doing any generators, that's the one I would do,
Right.
without a doubt.
Yeah, you said that was in the near future. So right now in our plan for fiscal 24, I have $80,000 budgeted.
Okay.
To cover that. So that's why I'm trying to get done as much as I can this year with the
I
funding
see what you're saying.
that we have.
Thanks. I understand what you're saying.
So, does anyone have any questions about what Paula just went over for this fiscal year. Any concerns? I mean, I think I agree that we need to use this money.
Yes, I agree as well. It's one of those
Um,
things you don't use it, you lose it.
I have a question.
Not really. Mr. Chair, I got a couple questions.
Sure, sure.
One is, Paula, nice job on this, and Al, thank you. I don't want capital expenditure to be confused with regular maintenance that we have as well. So Paula, in a nutshell, what have we spent on regular maintenance? And I'm talking about things that Al has done that he's built for time and material, things like that, that aren't part of the general capital plan.
Unfortunately, I don't have access to that database right now.
Okay,
I can tell you that we've done some hose replacements, we've done some, Al can probably articulate it more than I, but the 15,000 that we've spent so far, the majority of that has just been on maintenance. Unfortunately, we don't have a maintenance line item versus a capital line item, and I would recommend that we do.
yeah,
Um,
I would investigate that going for fiscal year 24.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it should be two different line items.
Yep.
I just want to make sure that we're not confusing. And going back to the capital plan, we created that when we came up with the maintenance list or maintenance program. And Al, you're a part of that, if you remember.
Mhm.
So that was important that we take those two items and put them together. So keep in mind, the capital plan goes along with the maintenance. Maintenance is not just hosing lines and stuff.
Yeah.
It's the nuts and bolts of how this works.
Mhm.
I do have a question on, if you go down, all the way down to the end, Paula. West Street, there's nothing on West Street. West Street's fine. We don't need anything in that.
HMI upgrade and pumps is recommended in fiscal 25.
I mean, for this year, any preventative stuff that we can put Yeah. West Street project, or is it?
So, I mean, I estimated the panel replacement, was it 25, Paula? I'm sorry. I'm not time.
The HMI upgrade and the pumps were recommended in fiscal 25.
Okay, and I think I did it that way because of how much was needed and that station is working well.
Okay.
I would like to see a panel upgrade on there. And I believe those pumps have been done, or at least rebuilt within the
Yeah,
past.
those two pumps had some major issues several years ago with rags getting
Yes.
caught up in the impeller. And I think we actually had a pump truck there for a while because
Yeah.
Both
Yeah.
pumps had to be worked on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we thought it was being sabotaged because of the amount of stuff that was coming down. Because we haven't
Well,
had
you
any
know,
issues.
When you only have approximately 12 residents on the West pump station and you get 20 shop rags in it, who knows?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah, that station has been pretty, knock on wood, I haven't had really any issues with it other than the fact that with the pumps, like we said. And I did have a generator problem over there, which they took care of. So, but that was it.
Yeah, that was part of the 15,000 we've expended, was that
Yes.
repair to that
Yeah.
generator.
Well, I just want to make sure that the public especially knows that even though there's nothing budgeted in the capital plan for next year, but a generator, things can
Mhm.
change.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
absolutely,
Okay, so
absolutely.
it's not like we're saying, okay, that we're done and the only thing we're
No.
gonna do is, so,
No,
I
I'm
mean-
just trying to plan for the end of the
Yes.
fiscal year and trying to make sure that we do as much as we can with. what
Well,
we've
I
allocated.
like this a lot. The only thing that I'd like to do is, and again, I just want to review this at the beginning, Paula. You have a crane for Dana Street. That's an actual proposal.
Yeah,
Then you have a seals, which is an estimate.
we're waiting for the proposal. It's recommended. That may have been in fiscal 24 and fiscal 25, but I've moved it up because we have the funding this year.
Yeah, so Al, if you could, let's turn those proposals into realities if you can, so we can get it approved.
Absolutely. Now, those seals are relatively new. However, it doesn't take much. Anything could happen and we don't have them on the shelf. So usually you get maybe 3 or 4 years out of a seal and then they need to be replaced. So That's why it's on there.
Okay,
I don't want to get stuck with a pump down. So, I will get that turned into a quote.
and we have
and-
until, there's a deadline ticking here, so we have until, what's the latest we can get this approved, Paul? Is it the end of the month? Year runs, job.
Our year ends June 30th, so I'd have to have everything in and a request for encumbrance before that.
All right, I will get this printed when,
I can
But this-
print it for you, Al. Anytime you're in the area, I can have it available for you.
and then I'll get the quotes out.
Yeah, and it would be great if we can sit down, if you think we should shift things. So for example, if you think we should do the panel on West Street before we do the seals or before we do the
Yes.
panel at Francis Ave, I want to shift that around.
Yep, I understand you want to prioritize.
Yeah,
That's fine. We can do that. I'll make a day and come in and we'll sit and straighten that mess out.
okay.
Mr. Chair, one more question through you. Al, what is the electrical panel? When you say upgrade, what are you talking about?
So the panels we've done 3 stations so far.
Yeah.
So the stations are flights, as everybody knows, and they are difficult to deal with, hard to get parts. If pumps go down, it takes months and months and months to get them. They run on a multi-trode system, which is specific to flight. We are changing them over to mechanical stations. So basically, if a float goes bad, they're on the truck. If a contactor goes bad, they're on the truck. It's very basic, easy to get parts, and they're relatively cheap.
Okay, have you discussed that with Bill by chance?
I have.
These panels, okay.
Yes.
Hey,
We-
Bill,
we
sorry,
d-
you put your hand up.
I actually talked to the other Mike. Is he the electrician?
Yes,
I talked, he actually looked through my schematics and the panel, and he said it was great.
yeah,
Getting
no,
away,
I remember that, and thank you for that.
Yeah.
I remember that. I just don't, I forgot about the panels.
yeah. So I'm trying to change them over as they go. It's starting to, so what ends up happening is the screen goes blank and I can't get numbers, or I can't reset something. And it's all encumbered into one package. So
Okay.
it's not like you can just replace it. And because they're almost 20 years old, they don't make them that way anymore. So you have to change the whole system over.
Gotcha.
All right.
A couple things. I heard you just say that the flight pump parts are very challenging to get. And I've heard that over the years. As time goes on and we need to replace a pump, can they be
Mhm.
replaced with a different manufacturer without a huge retrofit
Yes,
that might have a better supply line?
yes.
Okay,
I'm biased to Myers because I've had good luck with them. We will need to change probably some rail brackets, which is not a huge deal. But we do have pumps in stock that I would like to use before I do that.
right. Just something to keep in mind down the road.
Yes. Yes, we are well aware of flights issues. And we have a plan. It just hasn't come to that yet.
Right. Okay, so regarding the FY 23 expenditures that Paula and Al reviewed, are we do we have any questions regarding that? I think it's great. And I think we should move forward with it.
Mr. Chairman, Bill has his hand up.
Oh, sorry, Bill. Go ahead.
All right, thank you.
Yes,
Yep, so
whatever it is.
just to remind everybody, our operation and maintenance contract with Chad Impey is up January 30th. So it would be fantastic if we can get all the work done that was on the capital planning by June 30th. Because frankly, it's going to be better prices now than it will be come July 1. So we want to take
I agree.
advantage of the good pricing.
Yeah, okay. Good
Yeah,
point,
great.
Bill. Thank you. So it sounds like we all want to move forward as you already are, Paula, with this
Mhm.
plan. Okay.
Absolutely.
Any other questions?
Well, Mr. Chairman, Al, thanks for being here and for doing what you do.
Thank you.
Those block heaters, I know they're for winter, but winter
Yep.
comes fast. You know,
I understand.
I
I
think
understand.
if you think they're gonna need it, we should probably just get it all in while we can on the FY '23. Having said that, I know we don't know what kind of wiggle room we have. You and Paula will be able to figure that out, I'm sure. So that panel, is there a chance, Paula, we'd be able to fit that in FY '23, or is that right out?
Well,
I know it's like $8,000.
it really depends. Bill and I, and this is something I want to talk about with the fiscal '23 budget as well as infrastructure, is Bill and I have been looking back at the manhole repairs. And we have $10,000 in this budget for I&I. We'd like to move forward with the acquisition of that float sensor that we had talked about some time back, and I had presented at a meeting, and this will give us an idea of where the I&I problems are. I've created a simple database to track the manhole inspections as well as the manhole repairs. And Bill and I reviewed that today, and looking by streets versus by the manhole numbers, because that will give us an economy of scale for police details. So Bill's looking at that now, is the various manholes that need to be replaced. And there are a number on the list that haven't been addressed yet that have a very high I&I gallons per minute. So when we met this morning, we discussed that those should be the highest priority. Anything in excess of 5 gallons per minute should be a priority. So we definitely want to expend what we have in the I&I line item. But this morning, we also talked about the fact that we have excess funds right now in engineering because we didn't expend those funds. We have a small contract right now with Wright Pierce. But we don't anticipate spending the engineering funds. So we want to see if we can reallocate that for infrastructure.
How much is left in the engineering fund, Paula?
Let me just go back to that. Hold on one second. So to date, we've only spent $5,131. I'm estimating total we'll probably spend about $7,000. So that leaves us an additional $24,000.
Okay.
So if, depending on what we get for costs on the manholes, honestly, right now we have $112,000 in priority manholes that we need to address based on old costs that were given. So those will probably go up. Those were estimates given by Wright Pierce back in 2020.
They definitely went up.
So, based on the spreadsheet that I did this morning, we were looking at $112,000 in priority or immediate action manholes. So there's no shortage of things to be done. So if we can, we're going to utilize all of the additional funding that we have to address the manholes and the infrastructure.
Okay. Anyone have any concerns about doing that?
The only concern I got, Mr. Chair, is that it seems like we spend a lot of money on manholes in this town, and they fail pretty fast. I'd like to know why they're failing. Is it poor workmanship on the
Well,
side?
I just want to clarify what Paul is talking about right now isn't just manhole covers sinking into the pavement. This is about actual, I think, some I&I below road level.
Right. So if we look at some of the priority lists, infiltration at pipe joints, lift holes and joints infiltrating, bolts are missing, the frames are broken. There are a number of issues, sulfide damage to walls. So it's not just the pavement. It's the frames, it's the walls, and it's the joints.
Get the walls and joints at what level? I mean, you have the manhole cover, which is a metal cone that sits on top of what is it, brick or cement? Okay, so you're not just talking from the metal cone up. You talk, some of it is below that level.
Exactly.
It's more than what we can see. Okay.
Right, it's
But
lining them in,
today's-
right, it's, if you look back at, I went back to the Wright Pierce report and I pulled in that data. So there's a number of places where they're recommending we replace the frames, a number of places where they recommend we line the manholes, repair holes, crack sealing. So there's a number of things outside of paving. Many of the places they're recommending we replace the frame and the cover. But it's not just the pavement, it's lining them and it's repairing the frames.
Mr. Chair, I think
Go ahead,
what,
Dave.
what I'm trying to say is that when we did Mass Ave, probably 4 years ago, I think it wasn't done that long ago. The state said that they would install the manholes for us, if you remember.
Yep.
So the state came by, they took the manhole covers, which is a whole unit. It's the collar plus the plate.
Right,
When they build up on the inside, they use brick to build up to get to the street level. When that happens, it's all nice and even with the pavement. You might see that going on in Leominster now where they're doing repaving of the streets. But when it's done, it's level with the pavement. Over a period of a short time, those structures on the inside collapse. I don't know why they're doing it. They should not be doing that. And like I said,
Well,
going up Mass Ave, you're wigwagging around because all the covers have either sunk into the ground or on tilt, which again is creating I&I. Just because they tilt, it's causing the leak. It's not the manhole cover itself, it's the whole mechanism. Am I saying that right, Phil? That's what's happening.
if I may, a lot of that is probably caused by calcium chloride eating the brick under the cover and the concrete under that. It eats brick like crazy, and the streets, nothing has more calcium chloride than the streets in the winter. And it stays in the brick and eats it all summer long too. Thank you.
right. No, I
That's why they fail, was my point.
right. So I guess I'm agreeing with Dave. Some of them look like they started to sink pretty quickly. That's not just the issue. It's more extensive than that. So I guess we'll have to rely on you, Bill, to figure out the priority. I mean, some of the manhole on Mass Ave, I think obviously need to be replaced as soon as possible. And there's probably a few on other streets too, but okay. So I think I'm hearing, let's use what money is available in the budget to work on I&I to include manhole covers. Am I coming up with the right conclusion here?
Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Chair, if I could, Mike just called me. Mike, no, Mike, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you.
So we're tapping him in, so can you all hear Mike? He's on my phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike, you're in.
The other
Mike,
thing,
quick- My quick comment on all this is
Yeah.
I love seeing the preventive maintenance. I love seeing money being spent, so.
Dave, you just muted.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. One more time, Mike.
I was just saying that I love seeing that most of this kind of falls under preventive maintenance, and I love seeing it because we're protecting our investment down the road, that's all. Instead of waiting for something to go wrong, we're being proactive.
All right. So I think we're all on the same page. What money is available in the budget? I think we should go ahead and use it for what we've talked about here tonight.
Yes,
I will mention one other thing that we'll be doing, and Bill, you can probably talk to this more than I can, but there are several streets that we need to do jetting. And that's gonna have to be figured into our funding. Total, we're looking at 3 miles of jetting. And Bill provided me with that list today, so we're waiting for the quote on that. But that will have to be factored in as well.
3 miles, that's a lot.
Bill can speak to it better than I can.
I'm not questioning it.
Yeah.
It's
sounds like you're questioning it.
No, it's probably like 20% of our total sewer system, right?
It's a
15 or
little-
20%.
It's it's about 20%. So the maintenance plan that Wright Pierce put together for us calls for that yearly, calls for a little less than 20%. I picked a bunch of roads in the Whalum area and it came up to pretty much 3 miles exactly, so. It's good. And Al, that's something I want to talk to you about. So when you drop in, we're gonna talk about that.
I know we briefly talked about it, about which ones and where and
Mhm.
that type of thing, and I like your plan. But
Good.
we'll get together and get a peek at it.
Yep, I got talk about logistics, how we're gonna do it, so.
Not a problem.
Yeah. And there's always problem spots that reappear as well, right, for jetting?
Yeah,
Yep.
the center of Lunenburg, right?
Yep, those are on the
Street is
list.
one of them,
That's-
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
almost an annual event, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I do have another question for
Sure.
Al. It's okay. One of the things is, Al, I know we're going out to bid again per the procurement rules and regulations of Lunenburg. I hope you guys are bidding it. I've already got interest from other companies too. I want to thank you for everything you've done for the sewer department. But one of the things that I'm missing is we have a new systems too. We have a new DPW director, we have a business manager. And I'm missing these reports. Now, in the contract, you guys have reports. Have you
Yes.
been getting the reports, Paul or Bill, or
So. oh,
we haven't got
sorry.
any reports?
No, go ahead, Al.
So one of the things that I'm very unproficient in is Excel. I am working on this as fast as I can. So I went to send it over and I deleted half the information. So I am now putting it all back in and trying to get it straightened out. Paul has been a great help. I'm actually enrolled in an Excel class, so I can get this straightened out. Not my strong suit, but I get it. And I'm very sorry for that. I do have all the information. It's just not electronic. So I am working furiously to get that out.
Well, maybe, and Paul has been kind of brilliant at a lot of this stuff. She can maybe help you with some sort of maybe an iPad where you walk in and it's just pre-made questions that you just answer and send them back.
Yeah,
That's something that we're willing.
yeah.
to do.
Mhm.
I would really appreciate that. And I actually own an iPad that I would have no problem. Just put the program on it. Because
But
I'm telling you,
We actually can do that, Al, so, and I've offered to you to come in and, we can look at the Excel together. I have an additional workstation right now that we can work at, and you can use the
Fantastic.
computer and we could work together, so.
fantastic. You've been great. I mean, I'm,
By that, we hope you guys send in the information for the request for proposal, and I don't know what your plans are in the future, but we're looking to keep our relationship going with you guys. And we'll-
that's the plan.
so,
We are bidding on it.
yeah, like I said, I've talked to a couple other interested parties too, so.
Okay.
I
I
just
understand.
want to thank you.
You guys
Okay.
have been great. I mean, I've been with you guys forever, so I get it. And I hope to continue that relationship.
Well, you know what, your name on your thing says brother, you kind of feel like a brother after a while.
Regarding the reports, I think I heard you, I stepped away for a second. I heard you that you lost some of the data or,
Yeah,
as much as I hate the iCloud, when Al is working, this can it be backed up in such a way that you would have access to it, or it would be
Yeah.
pretty hard to lose information?
yes.
That would have to be, I don't think that we can do it through our OneDrive. Bill, maybe you can, but I don't think a non-employee can have access to the OneDrive. We could certainly set something up on a Google Drive.
Mhm.
But I don't think that we can provide access.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking
OneDrive.
so much the town's OneDrive, but any Polly, again, you've been doing great with this. Anything you can think of that can make this process easier for Al.
Well, I'm actually, well, I'm a database person, so I'm actually thinking about.
I know.
I'm thinking about a split front end on a front end on the iPad, writing to a data center on the on the OneDrive is what I'm thinking. So. and I've
What?
done many I've done that for many other clients. So I can definitely do something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
no doubt.
You lost me on that part, but okay, let's
That's
go with that.
okay.
sorry. All right, any other questions for Al?
And
Great. It was great to see you guys. It really was.
yeah, glad you
Okay.
want to stay on. Looking forward to seeing the, you guys bid, and we appreciate what you bring to the table, Al, as usual. And thanks for being here tonight and helping us figure this all out. And
No worries.
let's move forward here and keep everything flowing.
All right. It sounds good to me, and I will see you guys soon.
One
Right.
more thing, Al, Mr. Chair. Al, if you need anything at all too, we're there for you. Whatever you need, just Paul, let us know. Personally.
I appreciate that.
You know, I know, you haven't been feeling well.
Yeah.
So we're there for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Al.
All
All
right.
right,
guys.
good night.
Take care, Al.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Al.
Al.
Bye.
Take care.
You too.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the capital plan, which
We just did, yeah.
we pretty much just discussed.
That
So-
worked out.
Yeah, does anyone have any other questions, comments, concerns about it?
Mr. Chair, the only thing I'm looking at is what the town, has any of our grants been approved or allocations, I should say.
The earmarks, you mean?
Yeah.
I haven't heard back regarding the earmark.
I mean, that would be nice if we get something from that.
And speaking of that, is the RFP still in the queue to be approved?
I got an email from Julie Monday, yesterday, stating that she has 9 other RFPs. Ours is in the queue and she'll get to it as soon as she can.
Okay, I'm gonna be narrow-minded and selfish about this. I view ours as being pretty time critical. I mean, are her other 8?
She says they're all ending at the same time at the end of the fiscal year. That was the email that we received, is that they're all ending, at about the same time at June 30th, and she's reviewing them as quickly as she can.
I mean, can Heather allocate any other resources to help her out, do you think? I know, I'm not asking-
I'm gonna
I'm
let
not
Bill
look-
take this one.
That's a rhetorical question, obviously, but
Yeah, I can't speak for Heather, sorry. But to your first question, our other bids that Julie's reviewing, are they higher, more critical time-wise? The answer is yes. I have a couple in the pipeline that I need to get out ASAP because I got to spend the money by June 30th. So she wrapped up one of those today, and the next one's pretty much wrapped up. So she's getting through the list.
How long has been in there, Mr. Chair?
I don't know, when did we approve that? Two meetings ago, so.
No, I think it was the beginning of April. Yeah, the beginning of
Yeah.
April.
Okay.
4 weeks it's been in there.
I can't say exactly. I don't have the date right in front of me, but it was shortly after you went
It was
over.
that 3-hour meeting we had.
Right.
So, Mr. Chair, I recommend you write a letter to town manager requesting when can we expect it? Because we have deadlines too.
Well, maybe part of the issue is that, I say this with a smile, we only pay 15% of Bill's salary. Yeah, I'll either send a letter or I'll go and talk to Heather. Bill, you know I was joking with that, right?
Yes,
Okay.
no worries.
Okay, I'll either write her a letter or go and see her.
I put it in writing, Mr. Chair, if it was me.
I might do both, actually, but
Either way.
I can forward you the email I received, just giving you so that you see it. You know, I have been following up on it.
I know you have, I know you have. Okay, yeah, send that to me and I'll figure out what approach I'm gonna do.
Okay,
Okay, any other questions regarding capital planning?
Nope.
No?
I
Okay,
just think we should consider shutting the pump stations down for a couple of days. That might put us back up on the priority list.
well, then if we're gonna do that, it should be the Dana Street. Because that will have the greatest impact. So, okay, I like that. I like that idea. So no more questions regarding capital planning?
Nope, done.
No, okay. The minutes from the 4/25, 2023 meeting. Has everyone had a chance to read those?
Yes, I have a question though.
Yes.
Didn't we put off the meeting minutes from the meeting before?
yes, and Jane,
approve those?
yes, and Jane reminded me I should have put those on the agenda, so those will have to be on the next agenda. My apologies.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, regarding the 4/25, did anyone have a chance to read those?
Yes.
Yes,
Dave,
I wasn't there.
that's no longer a criteria. You have a voting right, apparently. Right,
No,
Paul?
I know that. I did read them and, but I wasn't. I just wanted people to know I wasn't there.
I know, you were smiling when you said it. So does someone want to make a motion to accept the minutes
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
from the 4/25 meeting? Okay,
From the 4/25 meeting.
Dave, you want to second that?
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, let's take a roll call vote. Dave,
All right,
Brett,
Aye.
Mike,
I,
and I for myself, the minutes are accepted.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say that Jane did a phenomenal job on those minutes.
Jane,
Yes.
we need to praise you every time we have a meeting because
Thank you.
your minutes are incredible. You capture the essence without making them 10 pages long.
Mhm.
Yes.
So it's
That's a
you
big
do a
talent.
you do a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Paul, you want to take this, the Q4 commitment?
Yep, the Q4 bills went out on May 2nd. They would have gone out on May 1st, but the tax collector doesn't want the bills to go out on a Monday. So we went on May 2nd, which was Tuesday. And the commitment for the fourth quarterly billing is $255,388.23. And I will need you guys to come in and sign it, please.
Mr. Chair, don't we do Aqueduct, document, sign doc, what do you call that?
Oh, DocuSign, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, it's just
I
saying.
don't know that I have permission to send it out, though. I'll have to look into that, Dave. Yes, we do have DocuSign.
Yeah, I mean, we were doing it when Barbara was here.
Yeah, unfortunately, some of the things that, like the website updates, don't have permission to do yet. I'm working on it. But let me see if I can get into DocuSign. If I can, I'll send it out. If I can't, I'll let you guys know that you need to come in and
Yeah.
sign.
I don't ever remember signing anything DocuSign for the sewer commission, but
Yeah,
that would be great if we
I
could.
never have. But, yeah.
She did do a test and we do have that ability. I just don't know that I have the right to manage that yet. So I'll have to take a look at that.
especially
Okay.
Zoom's been pulled off for another 2 years. We're gonna be doing this.
With all that free time you have, Paul, I can't believe you haven't done that yet.
So I will look into that. If I can send it out, I will. If I can't, I will send out an email requesting that you guys come in so that I can get that commitment done into the tax collector and the accountant.
Okay,
We-
all right, so should we have a competition here about getting this signed, like whoever gets in there first gets a prize or something?
I'll eat all the chocolate.
That might help. I'm
Okay,
usually the worst culprit.
okay. All right, well, let's just get this signed as soon as we can, all right? All right, town meeting, update, I think. Bill, you want to give us a little bit of an update? I watched it on YouTube. Sounds like Dave watched it. Again, thank you. I was surprised there weren't more questions, but
Yeah, so just a couple of simple questions, and I thought it went well. That was, what was the vote, like 90-8 or something like that? So it passed overwhelmingly.
yeah, okay. There was one good question from, it was one of the Chapdelaines. Our miscellaneous category is
Mm.
pretty big. And, maybe in the future we can break that out a little bit. But
Yeah, I want to change the format of the budget for fiscal 25. And I want to change the way we do the betterments, income and outgo. So I'll be making some adjustments to those categories and
Okay.
try to get rid of miscellaneous.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, that's kind of a little bit my fault too, because I saw that because it changed midstream, the first.
No,
present-
I know it did.
No, but the first presentation I thought was very good.
Yeah.
And then the other one came, do you remember that one, Paula? The first presentation? It didn't have a miscellaneous category on that one.
Yeah,
It's, as I told Paula yesterday, it's probably a good thing I couldn't go because I was clueless as to what, I didn't understand the changes. I understood the first presentation very clearly. So anyway, again, thank you, Bill.
I did have that in my mind, Paula, when I was gonna go, because I knew.
Is that why you didn't go, Dave?
No, I was right down the street, but that's okay. Bill did a good job.
You mean you were standing in the lobby of the high school listening? Is that what you're saying?
No, I was in my car going to there. But
yeah.
Okay,
What I plan to do, this is my thought process right now, is payroll, office expenses, and then capital expenditures, and then supplier expenses, so that it will be clear as to what we're spending the money on.
yeah, okay, that sounds good. All right, Paula, A&D Crossroads.
So I met with town council regarding this property, and just to give you guys a refresher, we have sent them a notice of non-compliance, and have actually numerous notices of non-compliance and never heard back. And they have an outstanding balance right now due of $2,525. Commissioner McDonald had recommended that we look into putting a lien on the property. We cannot do that. So town council's recommendation was, if we'd like to pursue this fine, is to schedule a hearing on a specific date and time. Notify the property owner that there will be a hearing, give him an opportunity to be heard. If he does not attend, then our only option would be to pursue terminating their right to discharge grease to the sewer system. And that would be, we would send a notice to them as well as to the Board of Health, which would affect their food service operations of the tenants. So that's really the only option that we have. So my question to you all is whether or not you want to schedule a date specific time and date. And if so, I will do that, and I will send out a notice to A&D.
Okay. I think we're probably going to have to do that, but can we do this? I mean, the property owner is the one not following through, but there are two restaurants there. I mean, can we talk to the restaurant owners and let them know that the property owner is not in compliant and this is what we're going to do? I don't know if we can do that.
They have received copies of all of the correspondence that has gone out. So they are very aware, and I would also copy them on the date of the hearing if the board schedules, if the commission schedules a hearing, so I would copy them as well.
Okay, great.
But they have
Great.
received copies of every notice that's gone out.
Okay, great, thank you. And you probably told me that once before.
No problem.
Okay, any questions on A and D? Okay, any action items?
Well, so do we want to schedule a hearing?
Oh,
Mr.
I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Yes, I would like to schedule a hearing.
Okay,
And, whether we do it for the next meeting, is that enough time for you to do what you have to do, Paula,
Oh,
and for them to respond? And
yeah, I can either do it the next hearing or the first hearing in June. But I have plenty of time to do the work.
okay, I mean, if there's plenty of time for the process to play out, then I would say do it for the next meeting.
Okay. Yeah,
Any
I can
other-
get the letter out tomorrow.
Any other thoughts on that? No? Okay. Action items for future meetings. No? Okay. Paula, business manager report.
So the fiscal 23 budget update, if you guys don't mind, I'm just going to do a quick share screen.
Sure.
So I wanted to,
Hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay.
okay. The Commissioner McDonald had requested that we kind of give an update, and since we're nearing the end of the fiscal year, I went through the budget to try to give an idea of where we're going to fall, and this all kind of tied in with capital planning. So our user charges, hopefully you guys can all see it. Our revenues, our betterment revenue came in much higher than anticipated, and I'm assuming that that's because of sales and people have paid off their betterments. So our privilege fees and our betterments are up. Our user charges are down, and that includes the Q4 billing, which we won't receive all of that revenue, but my estimate is that we'll receive approximately $1 million. So we're going to be down in that line item.
Why would user charges be down?
Because we overestimated the gallonage. I mean, user charges are based on usage.
Yeah.
And my concern is that our forecast for fiscal 24 is even higher. So my concern is we're not going to see the revenue from fiscal 24 that we expected either.
Yeah.
I will say that our connection, we've had several connection requests. We have 3 in progress right now. So that's good news. But that's certainly not going to make up a $53,000
Right.
shortfall. So overall, the other line items are pretty much on target. Our investment income is higher than we thought. We had anticipated $5,000. We have $7,686. So bottom line is we have an increase in of revenue over anticipated of $34,884. Our expenses, we are over in salary. I anticipate that will be over by $10,000, almost $11,000 in salary. And that is because of Barb's departure, her vacation time, and then my taking the role. At this point in time, as we discussed at the last meeting, I don't anticipate moving forward with an assistant business manager, and that's a subject for another meeting as to how we proceed with that. But right now, I don't foresee that for this fiscal year. Other department expenses, I've tried to forecast out what I think we're going to spend, and obviously this is subject to change, but I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of where we are. If you look at, these are small ticket items, the majority of them, but our capital plan that we just went through, if we do everything that we just talked about, we're going to basically expend that line item. Capital improvements for Leominster, I do have the latest bill. They have not yet billed it. Apparently what used to happen is we would encumber the funds. We would know what the amount was and we would encumber it and then not pay it until the beginning of July. I've requested we stop that. So Leominster is going to get me the bill. He's already given me the amount, just don't have the physical bill. So we'll have $1,000 left in that line item. Our Leominster and Fitchburg usage, I'm anticipating another $40,000 to Leominster for the next 2 months. So I think we're gonna have extra money in that line item. I think we're gonna have an additional 58,000. Purchase of, so other departmental expenses, I anticipate we're gonna have $62,000 left at the end of the fiscal year. Purchase of service, and this is something we Bill and I need to go through, is I'm anticipating, that $67,000 number for purchase of service, the top line there. I'm not quite sure what all of that is based on. I know that we have additional bills to CTE, and I know that we have additional bills to flow assessments. So I want to make sure that, I need to determine what that amount is going to be, but right now I'm forecasting we're going to spend it all. I&I remediation, recommending we spend it all. Purchase of service for outsourcing. Think we're going to spend it all, but again, need to clear up those remaining expenses. Legal expenses, I think we're going to have extra money because I don't foresee that we're going to be spending more money there. Engineering services, as I talked about, I think we're going to have plenty of money there, an additional $24,000. Utilities, our utilities we have to revisit for next year because we're actually short. We're going to have a $5,000 deficit there. Our electricity is much more than we anticipated, and our water is slightly higher than we had anticipated. Our transfers are the transfers we had forecasted. So as of right now, I'm predicting that we're going to have $57,000 non-expended. But again, if we can put some of that money into manholes, or if we can put some of that money into infrastructure, with the commission's approval, I'd like to do that. So, Bill and I will develop a plan for manholes, and I just gave him some reports today. And we're both in the middle of going through that maintenance report. So we'll come back with a final recommendation, but that's what it looks like as of now.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page again, that whatever we can do with manholes this fiscal year, we should go ahead and do that. And the list of the items for the pump stations.
Okay. All right, so I will just, periodically, and whether we go through it in detail, whether I just, send out the worksheet, but as we work on it, we'll update you on where we are and what our recommendations are.
Okay. Any questions for Paula?
Oh, nice job.
Okay, grease
Hey,
trap.
Dave, are you waiting to finish chewing, or? Are you? Okay, all right, so you don't have a question, okay.
Grease trap permit holders, everybody's up to date, except Conrad's. But that's pretty much the norm with Conrad's. We do get the reports, they're just always late. And then the next report was the initial Leominster IMA meeting is scheduled.
Paula, before you
Yeah.
go on to that, I don't, this might be inappropriate because it's not specifically mentioned on the agenda, that we talked about the schools and their grease traps. We haven't gotten any information from the schools about
Well,
their pumpings, unless you've gotten something in the last couple
well,
of days.
I haven't gotten anything, but so just to give everybody some background, prior to Barb's departure, she had been trying to get the reports from last February for the school's grease trap pumping and had no luck. And the last email she had sent prior to leaving was that she needed the February pumping as well as the April vacation pumping. I have followed up several times looking for those pumping reports and have not received a response. So the last time I sent an email, I copied the superintendent. And I actually received an inquiry today from her administrative assistant to determine if we've received the reports as of yet. We have not, and I explained in my response that if we did not, that I would be putting this on the next agenda for non-compliance.
Okay.
And the response that I received from Liz Peterson was that the superintendent intends to talk with the facilities director of the schools and make sure that it gets accomplished and make sure it gets to us. But if it does not, it will be on the agenda for next meeting.
Okay, so really the question there becomes, do we treat the school system the same way we treat the restaurants in town? Not looking for a large discussion about that tonight, just tossing that out there for as food for thought. Not to be issue a pun there about food for thought, but Dave, you're smiling, so you must have something you want to say.
I wouldn't put them in a separate category. Grease is grease. It goes through the same system, costs the same amount of money. Why should the schools get any kind of break that the residents or the other businesses don't? I mean, that's my opinion.
Right, and you know, I don't know what the school population is, but they're preparing food for a lot of people, so.
I know what they cook today is different from what it was when you were a kid. I mean, I don't know the amount.
Right, it's all microwave, right?
Well, basically, it's kind of like processed food. But on the other hand, I know they have a new, I don't know who replaced John on this. I think they're trying to work that out. I mean,
Steve Pusatari.
yeah, so I mean, I understand it, but policies are policies and I wouldn't change it at all for school.
Apologist, you know, keep communicating with them, and if we need to put it on the agenda, we'll put it on the agenda. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, moving on to the Leominster IMA.
The Leominster IMA initial meeting is scheduled for May 24th at 10 a.m. The location has changed. It will now be at 37 Carter Street in Leominster, which is their emergency management system. Leominster intends to have 4 or 5 people present. I know that Mike and Dave will be there, as well as Bill. Heather Lemieux plans to attend, and it's up to the commission whether or not I attend. That's your call. But that's the date for the initial meeting.
Regarding your attendance, I'm absolutely fine. I guess in part that would be partly Bill's decision too, but as a commissioner, I'm fine with having you go. I don't want to put you on the spot, Bill.
No,
You and Paula can talk about it offline if you want.
okay, I have no issue with their going either.
Okay. Dave, Mike, Brett.
I think, Mr. Chair, Mike and I should have a meeting with Bill and Paula prior to get all the information we need and a quick review.
Yep, that would be great. You guys,
So we're all on the right track.
Mike, I keep forgetting you're on.
I'm here.
Okay.
Also, Paula, we're gonna have town council attend this meeting or no, the next one?
I don't think initially, I don't think that there's a value add to that. I think first to have, you know, the initial meeting and find out where they are. You know, as I said, I have the keynotes that they want to talk about. And Wright Pierce is in the process of reviewing the first draft of the NIPD's permit that has come out for Leominster. And they're looking at in regards to the IMA. To see if there are any points that we should address in the IMA. So we should have their feedback in the near future too. So I think between their feedback and the information we have already and our understanding of the IMA, unless the commission feels strongly, I don't think town council needs to be there as right now.
Right, probably the first one. I mean,
Paula, do you, I just thought of this. Do you know, does Wright Pierce do any work for Leominster?
I don't know, and I just thought of that as I said it, so I have
Right.
to check on that.
Right, I should have thought of that a couple emails ago. Yeah, I just obviously don't want there to be any conflict of interest.
Yeah, I as I was talking, I was thinking, I wonder if they do work for Leominster, so I will be checking.
Because they seem to be right on top of the fact of what was going on in Leominster, but so yeah, it'd be good to find out.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions or comment about the IMA? No, okay. Any public comment from the public, which right now would be the sewer commission and the sewer department. Dave, you have the floor.
Hope to see everybody at the elections coming up on May 20th. And whatever, who you have a vote for, just come out and vote. That's all we
Yeah.
ask. Your
Yeah.
vote supporters.
Any other comments? No? Okay, do I have a motion to conclude the meeting?
I'll make a motion to conclude the meeting.
Mike, do you want to second that?
I will second that.
Okay. Okay, any further discussion? No, okay. Take a roll call vote. Mike,
Aye.
Dave,
All right,
Brett,
Aye.
and I for myself. The meeting is concluded. Thank you all. And looks like this is our second longest meeting since I've been chairman. So I apologize.
All right.
So bad.
it was a
All
good
right.
meeting, well deserved. Well done.
Yeah. Have a good
Good
night,
night,
everyone.
Good night,
Lunenburg.
Yeah.
good night, everybody.
What'd you say, Mike?
Say good night, Lunenburg.
Good night, guys. Have a good week.
Night.
Bye-bye.
Take care.